Yes, welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on a Wednesday here in Melbourne. Of course, let's go up to our friends up in the tropical Queensland up there. And of course, it is great to interview this amazing team again. Of course, it is the Cairns Saints. Of course, winning another premiership in the women's competition up there. Of course, we've got the captain join us right now. Kate join us from the Cairns Saints to tell us a bit about these. Kate, for joining us.
Thanks, Will. It's nice to be a part of another interview with you.
A bit of a role in the premiership side of things for the team. How good is to win this year's one?
I think it's just our culture, really. Like, we lost a lot of girls from previous years, and honestly, at the start of this year, we lost our coach as well. It looked like we weren't going to even have enough numbers to field a side in the matches that we had before the season, and then we got our coach Jonah, who did amazing work, and then girls just kept coming, and we ended up having way too many girls, but everyone was still involved. And yeah, I think that's culture and depth is what has got us through to win the three-peat.
So let's talk to you about the season. As you mentioned, slow starting. We're going to, your obviously with numbers of players to start the season. But I guess where did you think the turning point of the season to have that belief that you can make it a three-peat?
I think the turning point was although we didn't lose the game, the first half of the season, we kind of only beat each team by a goal or two, and almost every team came within a goal of beating us. And then one round, we just kind of all gelled together and we beat the bottom team by 110 points or something like that. And that was when one of the coaches was like, this is the turning point. From now on, this is where we go up and up. And it did. We started beating teams by so much more. And I think it was probably about round 6 or 7. It's just when we all finally started to gel and work out how each other plays. And yeah, that was our turning point, I believe.
As you were starting to smash teams throughout this back half of the year, and I'm assuming you did so well in the final series, especially that grand final as well. Because you obviously you've been there and done that so many times. Did it get to a point where I guess you had a chance to, get to do something like different that you didn't manage to do in the first half of the season?
I think maybe we just got more bonding in. The first half, we didn't have a lot of numbers at training, just for different reasons like work or social things being away. We did have a lot of injuries during the first half. I remember one round there was about 14 girls that were injured, so it was lucky for our depth that we could still field the team. And also we really looked after our juniors, so we had about 6 or 7 under 18 players actually playing our grand final. So developing them was one of our main focuses this year as well, which they did towards the end of the year. They got more confident playing senior women's than at the start of the year.
Let's talk a bit about grand final day. When did you feel that the game was won?
It's a bit bizarre because even though in the third quarter we were up by something ridiculous like 50 points, and my best friend and my old teammate Kayla was like, obviously you can't lose from here, but just don't, just keep playing your footy. And I was like, oh, like, have we won? Like, I still didn't click that even though we were up by 50 points in the third quarter that we were going to win. But I think we were just on from the first out. And yeah, after that first quarter, I think we got about 6 goals. So after that, our coach he didn't tell us then, but he was like, yep, we've got this.
Did you get a chance to enjoy the moment in the last quarter?
Yeah, we did. I was actually on the bench and I said to my coach, I'm like, you have to let me on. I just want to be on and celebrate with the girls. And the Lions actually did beat us in the last quarter. I think they kicked 2 goals, which was good for them compared to our 1 for that quarter. But yeah, everyone was just up and about and super, super happy to win.
Were you surprised that you played the Kansas City Lions?
Not really. I believe they were always the strongest team. They were quite similar to us in their game style. They were fitter than other teams, and we had a similar game style with our run and carry and switching the ball. So I was happy. I was glad that we were playing them. I did think it would be a much closer game. I was actually a bit worried that they would come on top of us leading up to the grand final, but they still played really great footy. But I think we just took it to the next level.
Was it a celebration or relief once that final sounded?
It was definitely a celebration. We couldn't even before the game. Jonah had to try and calm us down because we were just so pumped up, and I think that was just a reflection of our season. We were just so pumped every game to run out with the same girls and just to be there playing footy. We know previously with COVID and everything, other states haven't been so lucky. So yeah, we were just pumped every week, and that just continued on into the grand final, and after the grand final, big celebration.
For you as captain, how good was it to hold the Premiership Cup?
Oh, it was unreal. To think where we started at the start of the year back in January, not having a coach and having to run a few training sessions with girls that were brand new to the game, trying to teach them how to kick a footy, not thinking that we would come close to it, and then to go undefeated and then hold that cup is just like a sigh of relief for the hard work that's been put in throughout the last 8-9 months.
You know, you got the siren win, you had a chance to celebrate on the ground. And then obviously between that and obviously getting your Premiership medal and getting the cup, did you actually have to stop and think about, oh, I might have to do a speech?
I think it crossed my mind for a little bit, but our coach Jonah is amazing at public speaking, and he could just speak all day. So I think after he spoke, they were like, "Yeah, that's enough." He's really good at speaking, and yeah. So it was just the coaches, thank God.
So it must be pretty relief when you didn't have to do it.
Yeah, definitely. I would have happily done a speech, but yeah, just the coaches and I think the league manager. So it was nice.
Who got best on ground in the grand final?
Grace Perry. She kicked 5 goals. Probably had one of the best games of her year, but it just is a reflection of her year as well. She's had an amazing year, so she definitely deserved the best on medal.
Yes, was she surprised?
She's always surprised. I'm not sure why. She just doubts herself a little bit, but she's top 2 best players in our team. She's got best on most weeks, so no one else was surprised, but she seemed surprised.
Yeah. So when you had a chance to hold the cup before everyone else went on stage and swarmed in for the team photo, how good was it to put your hand on it? I guess, was there like any moments at all they went, wow, the realization of winning a premiership, but also, I guess, also at the same time, were you afraid that you might drop the cup at any stage when your teammates swarmed onto you?
Nah, we had a pretty tight grip on that cup. We weren't letting go of that for a while. It was a nice moment. Me and Jonah, the coach, we just gave each other the biggest hug and said, we've done it. Like, think back to the start, back to January, February, how far we've come. And it was just, it was a surreal feeling, really. But yeah, we weren't letting go of that cup. It wasn't falling.
When your teammates swarmed onto you, were you worried that your teammates was going to crush onto you?
No, not really. No, I wasn't worried about that at all. I was just happy for all the girls to come up and just celebrate and soak in the atmosphere and all the feelings. Yeah.
Last will show us your Premiership medal. There it is.
There's 22. You can read that.
So, Kate, I need to ask you, and I asked this when I had you on the show with the rest of your teammates 2 years ago. How long did you wear your Premiership medals around your necks for, and did you sleep with it?
I wore it Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I think I did sleep with it a couple nights. I wasn't letting go of it. I didn't want to lose it. So I would say yes, I slept with it probably 1 or 2 of those nights, just so I didn't lose it.
Yeah.
And wore it until Monday. And this is the first time I'm wearing it again since. So.
Oh, thank you.
Nice to bring it back out.
Good. I must say, thank you for doing that for us.
It's okay.
So now with the cup as well. Now, when I can't remember who your captain was when I had you on the show in 2020, but now you're the captain of the team for this year's Premiership. Do you get the chance to kiss the Premiership Cup?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we all kissed it. We all ended up doing a drink out of it at some point throughout the night. It got a lot of love from everyone.
Yeah. Take it home and sleep with it?
No, I didn't. I thought about it, but then I thought, no, it's with the other two cups. It's little family of three, so I'll leave it with the family of three now and can stay there forever.
Yeah. Talk to me about your three premierships, 2020, 21, and 22. Which one of
Yep.
those three is more special now, looking back?
Well, they each have their own special kind of significance to them, but I would probably say this year was probably the most special, seeing as we kind of had to start as a new group again. We didn't just walk into it like last year. We kind of were already a group. That was special because we came up the last couple of years as a group. But I think this year was a bit more special because we had a brand new coach. All the original girls, apart from a handful, had left. So we had to rebuild the team again and develop our juniors. And yeah, so I think this was probably the most special. It was a really super close bond. We all gelled really well. There was 43 girls in our team that wore our jumper for the year, and that just goes to show how big our culture is. And we actually had that on our banner. It said 43 chicks, one team. So everyone was still involved.
I'm glad you actually mentioned that because that was actually my next question I was going to ask. Going a bit further from that, for you as captain with a predominantly pretty much a whole new team, how important was your leadership role and were you aware of the challenge that might entail?
Well, I think the girls that did stay from last year were a vital, like they really, there was probably about 4 or 5 of us girls that were coming to training and trying to like get the voice up, get the vibe up, like as the new girls outnumbered the old girls and they were brand new to footy. So it was time we realised that we really had to step up. And some of the girls that were new last year, it was their turn to step up, and everyone did their role in doing that, and then it just all fell into place from there.
So you mentioned about the new girls come through, especially you mentioned about the youth girls a moment ago as well. Is there any of the youth girls coming through we should watch out for? Hopefully, maybe an AFLW chance.
Yeah, so Andrea Hurd has actually gone down. She's moving next year. She'll be training with Gold Coast Suns. She's 17, so she's a very high chance of playing for the Suns. Alyssa Gall, she's only 16, but I'm sure she will end up there. And Lara Van Dorsen, when she recovers from her knee, is a name to look out for.
And how special was to play with those three, especially knowing that you hopefully have a chance to see them on TV. Like I've actually captained these three girls.
It's a nice feeling to know that you're involved with their development. They're being 15, 16-year-old girls playing with women like twice their age and twice their size can be very, very daunting. So it's very important that your leaders of the team do really help your youth when they are playing seniors, because it is so scary. But yeah, to see them go from the start of the year to the end of the year being so confident playing and so comfortable playing at in the senior women's level is really nice to see, and nice to know that you've had some involvement with that, and to hopefully see them develop into the next level.
Briefly talk about your football journey. Obviously, most people would know from if they listened to the last interview or watched the last interview 2 years ago. So what does the sport of football mean to you now, and especially playing for the Cairns Saints, and especially creating a bit of history there for the Saints making a three-peat?
So we started the club in 2018, and I'm not sure if this was mentioned in the last interview. We were just a bunch of girls that didn't know how to play. We were just happy to have some fun. And then a year or two later, we ended up really being good at the sport. So I think that's very special. To say in 5 years that I played 4 grand finals and won 3 of them. Some people aren't even lucky to win 1 grand final. So that will always, my short time that I played footy will always be a very important part of my life that I'll remember. The friendships I've made have just been friends for life. It's more than just footy, really, and that's Saints as well. the culture and the vibe at the club and our team is just something that I'll remember forever. When I'm old and can't physically play, I'll look back and remember how good these times were, and hopefully have some reunions, a couple in a row.
I tell you what, the first one's not that far away.
Yeah, 7 years.
Yeah.
Start planning it already.
Yeah, exactly right. What position do you play on the field? And if you had a dream position where you'd like to convince your coaches to put you next year, where would that be? And one more to add on to that, have you changed positions since we last had you on the show 2 years ago?
So I predominantly play midfield on ball. Sometimes I have a bit of a rest up forward. I think it's definitely my position. I can't really see myself playing anywhere else. I don't mind having a rest up forward and sometimes trying to sneak a goal. I can't actually remember where I played in 2020, to be honest. I think I've just played in the middle most of my career because that's more like I'm not very tall, so I'm not really a defender or a big kicker. So getting in and under is one of my weapons rather than being tall and taking contested marks. So yeah, I think it's just about knowing what you're good at and using that to the best of your ability. So I think midfield's probably the only position I can really excel at. Yeah.
Considering what you've achieved, 3 premierships in a row, beating grand finals 4 years in a row. Any other future ambitions that you're looking forward to in footy?
I haven't really thought that far ahead, to be honest. I would love to see the Saints, the team that I helped build with the group of girls, continue on with its culture and its positive vibe. So maybe I could eventually get into helping coaching or something down the track, or something to do with youth girls and developing them, because women's footy has just taken off at a crazy level the last couple of years. So yeah, maybe some coaching down the long run, but I'd really like to give back to the Saints Club because it's it's been a great couple of years.
And what will be your advice to people up there in the tropics that should get involved in footy, especially to the best team in the land at the moment, the Cairns Saints?
Yeah, definitely just come down and have a try. It's always a bit daunting trying a new sport, but just give it a go. Doesn't even have to be Saints. There's 6 clubs in Cairns, depending on where you live. You can go to every training with every club and see which one you like the best. We do have a great community up here. Like we hang out and chat to girls from other teams, even though they don't like us on the field as much. But it is a great community, and we just like to see more and more girls involved, whether it be for other teams, our team. It's a very welcoming community, and definitely give it a go and see if you like it.
Now let's finish off with a couple light-hearted questions about your teammates. Very similar to when we had you on the show 2 years ago. First one is, who had the most embarrassing moments on the footy field this past season, and what was it?
Probably Grace Perry. I can't remember what she's done, but she's just a bit of a klutz. Like, we love her, but she's always doing something funny. She's just broken her foot on footy trip, so I'm glad she did that. I'm glad that was at the end of the season and not before the grand final. But yeah, probably Grace Perry.
Hopefully she'll be ready to go for next year then.
Yeah.
Who's the comedian, the best singer, and internet TikToks / Be Real?
The comedian would probably be Emily Allen. She's pretty funny, makes a few funny jokes here and there. Singer, I don't think we had, or like loudest singer.
Yeah, either or.
Probably our coach when we sang the song. He sang it pretty loud in the club. I mean, we had to sing it every week, and it just got louder and louder. So. And then TikTok was Grace Perry. She did one just about every game. Grace and Mia O'Brien. They were before the game, after the game, they were doing TikToks most weeks.
So did you reel the team in doing a TikTok dance or Be a Real photo after the game? of the Premiership I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
we actually, yeah, we got to be real with the cup. I think it was after we won it, so it was perfect timing to get to be real.
Do you have a pre-game superstition or ritual?
I have to have pasta the night before.
Oh, of course. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
You jogged my memory now. You mentioned that. So any type of pasta? I don't think I asked this question either.
Spaghetti bolognese. Usually spaghetti bolognese, but just pasta in
Okay.
general. But yeah, bag roll.
Obviously, it's worked so far.
Yeah.
So you have the best nickname in the team.
We actually had one of the new girls this year. Her nickname was Screams. Her name's Sally, but we called her Screams because she rocked up to the first training and she said, I want to take a screamer. That's all I want to do this year. So her name on the whiteboard was Screams, and it was printed as Screams. So that's probably the best nickname we had. She didn't take us. Actually, the last training before the grand final, we took a video, and our coach got all the way down, and she ran up and took a screamer on him. So she got a screamer.
I'm glad you mentioned that side of the nickname because I was thinking that she screams a lot, but
No, she
thank
just
you
wanted to
mentioned
take
that
a
part of
screamer.
it.
Yeah. No, she just wanted to take a screamer, and she got one in the end.
Yeah. Did the team have a fine system this year? And if so, who copped the most fines?
We actually did on our footy trip just gone 2 weeks ago. We had a long list of fines. Who got the most? Oh, we made sure everyone got 2 or so fines. It was probably Jonah. Probably our coach got the most fines. He did a lot of funny things throughout the year. So, but he wasn't there. So we had to drink for him. So we just drank for him, but he would have got the most fine.
Okay, so Kate, what were your fines that if you don't mind us sharing?
One of my fines was a couple of us girls were obviously in the older age group of our team, and the majority of the girls are probably around 22, and then me and the couple of my girls the same age as me went a little bit too hard on the Sunday, and the younger girls had to take us home and look after us for the night. So that was one of my fines, was the younger teammates having to look after the old shooks.
Gonna say you're not old, Kate. So
in the team, I'm one of the oldest, but so that was, we'll have a laugh about it now. Should have been the other way around, but
So it sounds like the 18s, the younger ones, are a bit more responsible by the sounds of that.
Yeah, well, they were on the Sunday anyway.
What was the strangest place that the cup went to?
Oh, I don't actually know if it. I don't know if it left the club rooms. I don't think we were game enough to take it. Probably just in like the club room toilets or something. It was just, we went back to the club rooms after we won, and it was just floating around the footy oval, here and there, but it stayed at the room. So, well, I think it did, unless somebody took it. I hope it's still there.
I guess we'll find out now when you go back to the club.
Yeah. That's right.
And one final one. Now, you must describe us each of the 3 premierships that you've won and what's unique about the 3.
So 2020, our first year, was pretty unique because we played in the grand final the year before, but we lost it. So I think that gave us a bit of drive and hunger to go one better. And also because that was during COVID, we couldn't play. Victoria couldn't play. We didn't start until July. So it was a short round. But that was that was unique about that one being the first one. And yeah, winning that first premiership was probably the most exciting, I would say, because we obviously had never won before. The second one was unique because it was that same group of girls that moved on and developed as a team and as a group. And that was the first year that we were undefeated. We didn't lose a game. So to go back to back was something we didn't expect, but was also an awesome feeling. And then the third one was also unique and special in its own way, in that we lost half of our grand final team from the year before, plus our coach that we had for the last 2 years. So we had to rebuild, and didn't look like we were going to field a side at the before round one, and then ended up getting 43 girls. So yeah, to come from being a brand new group to winning a grand final and going undefeated again was very special. They all have their own uniqueness. But
Kate, thank you so much for getting up some of your time to join us. It's awesome having you on the show. One of our favourite players. I'm glad that you're the only one that we interviewed in 2020 that is happy to come back and do an interview with us from the Cairns days.
Of course.
Of course. Definitely one of our favourites up there. And thank you so much for joining us. And can't wait to hopefully maybe when you go back to the pre-season, where we will get you and a couple of your other teammates to join you for another interview, and to reminisce yet again a three-peat as we head towards, hopefully for the Saints, creating already a dynasty, but hopefully continue that dynasty up there in Cairns.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Will. Pleasure to be here.
No worries. And that's Kate there, joins us from the Cairns Saints, of course, three-peat champions in the AFL Cairns competition. Of course, they beat the Cairns City Lions early, about a couple of months ago now. There's more on the Smash Sports Show right after this. Don't go away here on the 10th year celebration.